XRP is not Ripple. And I have to say that because I see a lot of comments that let me understand that there's a mistake that a lot of people are making, and that there's a gap between what they think they own and what they actually own. And it's one of the most important things that you're ever going to understand as a holder of this asset. They are two completely different things. One of them you can actually own, and the other one is locked away from almost everybody watching this video. And once you see this very differently, you're going to understand why the thing that you can own may be a stronger position to be in. Now, I'm Camila Stevenson, and around here we talk wealth, and I want you to like the video and subscribe if you have not already. And I want you to know this is not financial advice. I'm only sharing for educational and entertainment purposes. Always do your own research and drop in the comments before we get into this. When you first bought XRP, did you think you were buying a piece of Ripple, the company, or did you know that they were separate from the start? Be honest. I just want to see where you are with this. Now, let me lay out the basic distinction so that you can understand, because people are still confusing these two separate things. Ripple is a private company. It has employees, executives, investors, products, revenue, and an internal valuation. Like most private companies, Ripple's shares are not something that you can just go and buy on a stock app, okay? The shares are held by a small group, the founders, early employees who joined when the company was small, a handful of venture capital firms that wrote checks years ago. There is no public ticker currently for Ripple. So you cannot add Ripple stock to your brokerage account this afternoon, no matter how much money you have. Okay. Ripple is a privately held company, and ownership of that company has always belonged to insiders. XRP, on the other hand, is a digital asset that exists on something called the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger is a decentralized network that runs independently of the company. It does not need Ripple to function. Okay. Hear me out. The validators that confirm transactions on the ledger include exchanges, universities, financial institutions, and independent operators around the world. XRP is the native asset of that network. It is what the public can actually buy, hold, send, and store in a wallet or institutional custody or wherever you hold it. Ripple, the company, uses XRP, builds products around XRP, and controls a large amount of XRP supply held in a programmed escrow that releases on a schedule. But owning XRP does not make you a shareholder in Ripple. You do not get a slice of Ripple's profits. You do not get to vote on company decisions. You do not get any of the benefits that come with owning equity in a private company. Now, this is where most people get it backwards. When a company stays private, the upside of its growth flows to a very small, very close group of people. This is the venture capital funds that wrote checks early, the insiders with founder shares, a handful of institutions that got access to private funding rounds. If Ripple, the company, becomes worth tens of billions of dollars, and in private markets, it has been valued in exactly that range, the people who capture that equity upside are not retail investors watching from the outside. They never had that door open to them. That is just how private equity works. The most valuable seats at that table were filled a long time ago, and they were filled by people who were already wealthy and probably connected. Okay. So when someone tells you that they're invested in Ripple, what they almost always means is that they are holding XRP. And those are two completely different things. The Ripple equity, the actual company shares, are not available to the public. They may not be coming to the public. I don't know what they're going to decide to do.